Welcome to Trading Lounge in the US stocks for the 14th of September. And most of the stocks we'll be going through today, except for one of them, is in the pharmaceuticals or the biotherapeutics. And this one is a Delaware company. And yeah, let's take a look at it. Well, the first thing that comes up, you can see here that it's really working with the 100 here. This is a weekly chart. I just thought I'd have a look at the bigger picture and have it all nice and clean. So in a nutshell, I was thinking that that would just go long above this high here. Now, it's probable that we could get a better position on the 100 or even on this pullback here, but there is a chance that this is actually an A wave down to this point here, a B wave here, and a C wave moving down even lower here. So we really need, because this is in three waves here, so we really need to be a little bit careful about this. And being careful about it would be that we would look to go long if the market came back to 100 here, because this particular move here is an A wave here, then a small A, B, and C wave here for the B wave, and then up for the C wave here. Yes, it could be counted as wave 1 here with an expanded flat of an A, B, and C here for 2, then up for 1, coming back for 2 here to the 61.8% mark, which will be the $80 mark, and then move up from that point. So I'm aware of that as well. We'll just go to the daily chart now. A lot of these stocks in this particular section that I'm looking at here don't have nice perfect wave counts, so they take a little bit more time to understand, but we've got the trading levels, so we'll be able to work with those as well. So in the bigger picture, you know, this is vibrating across the 100 here, and as I mentioned, we could look at this as an A wave here, then an A, B, and C wave for the B wave here, and come all the way down here. So obviously we don't want to get trapped in that. It's possible that we can have an impulse wave to the upside based on this move, but we wouldn't go long until we had the 100 here as the support here. Now, in the meantime, I can see how this could be counted as well, an A wave and a B wave and down for a C wave here, but I'll just wait for that as well, because I would still need to see a nice impulse wave to the upside coming from these lows here, and then an ABC pattern here, and then we can go long here. There's no point in buying on the low here or getting trapped in this particular stock. Let's move on to the next one. So most of these stocks that I'm looking at are not very riveting, so you wouldn't be missing anything if you didn't watch the rest of this video, but I just need to go through them. This stock here, Inovio Pharmaceuticals, also you can see that's in a large downtrend at this particular stage. So it's really no interest to me at this particular stage, but we'll just continue to monitor it. I can see that this little move, I can see that the C wave here can be just about ending, but I can also see this little move here looks a little bit corrective. So we'll probably see another little move lower here. But once again, we would also need to see a nice little impulse wave to the upside here, and then a move back at this point for us to be able to go long here on this particular stock. So nothing to see here for this stock. This stock here, Intuit, it's pretty much got the same general count as a lot of the S&P counts have got. We've got the COVID correction here. We're certainly above the high here, which was fantastic news. Now, as I have mentioned on the S&P 500 video, that I can group a lot of stocks that have 5 waves up, and I can group a lot of stocks that have 3 waves up. To this point, this is one of the stocks that appears to be 5 waves up. So based on that, I need to wait for an ABC correction here, and this would be, I'm taking this as the high and not this one here, because I can see that it happens sometimes. You can see how it's opened really high here on some news or something, and then this is more of a truncated 5th wave here, but I can see we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 here. It's not that it's a big deal, just shooting the breeze really, but we still need to see this come down into this major level here. So there's not a lot to see in this particular stock, but this is a financial software company that develops accounting programs and tax preparation software and so on. But yeah, it's not. It's certainly not ready yet. We need a nice clear correction here, and then we'll be ready for it. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, so this is a weekly chart for Ionis, and it is a company that specializes in developing RNA, which is all part of the geno CRISPR sector. And we can see here with this stock here that it's obviously lifted off its lows. It's got something in the pipeline, but I can see that it's obviously not developed enough to profit on at this stage. So the main point here technically is that we are traveling across the 50 here, number 5. So 5 to me is the second strongest number in the market. And it's all about that major trading level 5 here at this stage. Now I can see that there's different ways to count this. I can see that this is a weekly chart. I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, right? Then we've got this move down here, then we've got a move up here. So it's likely that this is an A wave, and then 3 waves for a B wave, and then a C wave coming down here. Now in the C wave here should be 5 waves. Now we've got a nice sort of wave 1 here, and 2's okay. 3's all a little bit small and squashy in here, isn't it, compared to wave 1 and wave 5. Sort of, you know, when you've got stocks like this that don't have a lot of volume and so on, you know, you got to ask yourself, you know, what is this here? Can it be counted as 5 waves? So possibly, but we'll see. I take it on board. I don't set it in concrete that it is or it isn't at this stage. It's quite possible that there's more downside to this company, but at the same time, we would say that this company's arrived here and has just really been vibrating across this level here. So we could look to go long above this particular high here in this case. So there's nothing really to do or say. I'll just go to the daily chart here. I was counting it as wave C here, but as I mentioned to you, and I can see 5 waves in here, but it's all a little bit dodgy. And I can count this up here as 5 waves as well, as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So, you know, I'm thinking it's pulling back into its 61.8% retracement level, which is on the 50. I'm aware of that, and I would still like to see a nice impulse wave to the upside here. So I think this has still got further to go down, but what we're looking for here is we're looking for some evidence. So we want to see a nice impulse wave to the upside, and then a corrective wave back, and then we can move into it over this side over here. So I don't think that that's come down here just yet for that. But if we get this set up here based on this and the bigger picture, we could be in for a really nice move coming up into this space here. The timing is right for the RNA and the geno and so on. So we'll just see. We just still need to build evidence on that. Okay, let's move along. This stock here is a weekly chart here. Iovance is a biotherapeutic. It specializes in therapies against cancers and tumors and those sorts of things. Technically looking here, we can see a few things. We can see that it's at a major trading level, which is 3, which is $30 in this case. A major trading level could be 3 cents. It could be 30 cents. It could be $3, $30, 300, 3,000. It's just the way that it goes. So, but the major levels here would be starting, say, from, well, we can build major levels from here. They're always 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, and then we go to the power of 10 again. And then from 10 we go to 20 to 30 to 50, the Fibonacci numbers as a price ratio. Look, main point takeaway here is that this market is vibrating at this level here. Now it's basically or it's really quite mature in its corrections here. All we need to understand now is that we need to see an impulse wave to the upside. as evidence that we're moving in that particular direction. Now, that may not be the case just yet for this. We may end up seeing a move lower here first before getting back up into this space here. Let's just go in and take this as a weekly chart. Just having, it's good to look at the bigger picture here in this case. So I was thinking that wave 3 here with an A wave here and a B wave up to here and a C wave down to here, and then we've got 5 waves in this sequence here in this case. So it's all a little bit sort of iffy, but at the same time too, I was looking at this as being, well, wave A here, and then an A and a B and a C wave to this particular point here, and then coming down here in 5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Now that may not be the case, and if we take out this top here, well, then we need to be looking at going long from that point, because we would be at 34, we would be above group 1, so group 1 would be 31, 32, 33. So a nice tested support on 33 will create a long trade for us on that, right? So I don't know if I've got anything on the 4-hour chart. I'll just check. Okay, yeah, so it's possible to have the wave C in this here. It does look like we've got this is a bit impulsive up here, but I'll just keep an eye on this. But if we get a classic trading levels pattern sitting on top of 33, which is the top of group 1, so what you've got to ask yourself, is 33 the tested support? Like, the market moving above it is not support. When it comes back, it's testing for support, right? And it couldn't find support here. So we would always have our reference point long here, and then we would look for our second high and so on. But it's just not there yet. So we're looking for a pattern like this. If that's the 33 here, we're looking for the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then we're looking, that's our reference point to go long on. We can move it down to here, and we can move it down to here, but we just really want to see it tested here. So tested support, you can also bring the volume in for that as well. So we're not quite here just yet with this, but we'll see how it shapes up, and I'll keep an eye on that. Let's move on to the next stock. So this stock here, Iridium Communication, so it's not in the pharmaceutical sector, and the move to the upside here, we need to see this market find support on 30. So we're a long way off this at the moment. And it could also react here much deeper than I've got it here as well. So I can see that it's corrective here, but it may just come down deeper here before it goes up in this instance as well. So we need, we'd never buy just before a level, a major level. It's just, you can get away with it and it may just continue to the upside, but 90% of the times when you're working with a major level, you're going to see a corrective pattern. Now, it may even shoot up a little bit higher to group 1 here, but it will eventually pull back down here. But what we're looking for is this market to create the first high above the level and then have a pullback at this stage. Now, you could probably squeeze another count out of this, but I won't go into that because I think the count that I've got is okay for the time being. And what I mean by the time being is that we're not seeing this market on here as support yet. We don't have the first high above the level. It's got a long way to go. You could say, well, we could buy here while it's low at this point, but I would find that if this count is correct, then we will just be burning up money, because it would be caught in time, because these big numbers are sticky numbers and it will stick across this level here. So there's nothing really to see here for this stock. So let's move on. Okay, this is our last stock, Intuitive Surgical. So it's in the NASDAQ 100 and also the S&P 500, this particular stock. And it manufactures and markets robotic products designed to improve clinical outcomes of patients. So it's a really nice looking stock, isn't it? So it's taking out its high here. We could also count this a little bit differently as well. If you've got this counted differently, we could also put this here as wave 1 and wave 2 here for this. And that would make a nice third wave at that point. But it doesn't really count very nicely as the way that I've got it here as wave 1 and 2, because just doesn't. So I think I've got the best count for it, but I think it's just important to look at things, and it's okay to change your mind in markets, because markets are always moving. But there's one thing that we can see here is that we have a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here for this nice strong wave structure here for this. And I've just counted it conservatively here, and also lined it up with a lot of other stocks in the market that are currently in wave 4s here for this. So with that in mind, yeah, this is the support down through here. When we see the NASDAQ start leading to the upside and finish its correction, which we're not sure about just yet, because this wave 4 looks a little bit small on the NASDAQ and the S&P and so on. When this is more mature, we'll be able to recognize exactly what it is at this point, but this stock is not here just yet. But the other point with this too is, yes, we can do a stock trade going up to the 5th wave here, but the portfolio trades will be once this pulls back as an ABC pattern here, probably around the election times, but there'll probably be a lot of other events happening around that time as well. So we'll see how that plays out. So we'll try and get a trade out of this leg here, but our portfolio trades will be on this wave 2 pullback here for this, which also take time to do as well. And it will also be a little bit frightening to buy in on these lows down here, but we won't buy right on the lows or anything, because this will be a 5-3-5 structure. We'll wait for the first 5 waves to move up, and then we'll wait for the 60% retracement level to pull back in. So those 5 waves will tell us that we're going to get at least another 5 waves up at that point, because what will happen here when this pulls back down through here, there'll be a lot of people thinking that and they could be right, that's why we need to be careful, that we could actually come further down from this. So that's, and because it's moved down already, you have to note your own emotional state of mind as well. For me, I will just stay with the evidence. I'll be counting 5 waves down here, 3 waves back, 5 waves down here, and then I'll be looking for an impulse wave to the upside. Once that impulse wave is in play, then we'll start to build our position and manage our risk on that first little move to the upside here on that basis. So even though I may not have it right, we'll manage our risk, so we'll get to break even or very close to it. And if it folds lower from that point, then we'll obviously just short it from that point too. But we need to build a case for this. So yeah, let's leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.